Yo, what's going on, guys? Welcome back to the channel, and today we have the Book of Boba Fett Chapter 4. Very excited about this one. I do see some of the gripes online right now just about this show in general, and I know a lot of people are not feeling it so far, especially last week's episode, and I think last week's episode definitely put a few people overboard, and a lot of people were just like, no, I'm done with this show, it's really not going anywhere. Though I do think this is the episode where things are really going to pick up for this show. Ming-Na Wen even said that in an interview today or yesterday. I can't really remember when she said that, but she said this is the episode where things really start to pick up for the story. But aside from the story itself, a lot of people were not feeling last week's episode because of one of two things. Actually, three. The story not picking up. A lot of people were really complaining about that, as I said. Black Chrysanthemum and him not being as heavily involved in this series as they thought he would based on the introduction that he had in Chapter 2, which I can also understand. A lot of people didn't like the fight between him and Boba Fett. I thought it was fine. I thought it was a lot of fun. But if that is the last we see of Black Chrysanthemum in this series and he just ran off and he's gone, I think that's going to be quite disappointing. And then the other big thing is that the biker gang was really out of place for this show and for Star Wars in general. I don't agree with that statement. I do agree that they did not fit on Tatooine at all. I don't think their storyline made any sense with them having to steal water, yet they could afford the cybernetics and the bikes that they owned and some of the clothes that they had. Some of the two guy characters, they had, nice, like, I don't even know how to describe it, like trench coats with like really clean outfits, I guess is the word for it. And that really didn't make any sense to me. I get that the guy was overcharging for water. His water was really expensive. But if you can afford all that, why do you have to steal it and make it a problem for everybody else? Which I really don't understand. But I think that we are going to get more of those characters, and hopefully they do develop them in a way that we kind of sympathize with them, because at this point, I don't think really anybody likes them per se. I don't hate them, but I don't have a driving liking for these set of characters so far. I don't have any reason to root for them thus far. With all of the other characters like Fennec and Boba, I do have a reason to root for them, and the Tuskens, and some of these other characters that we've gotten. I do think Black Chrysanthemum was a cool involvement, and I was rooting for his character to come back, which I'm hoping he does. But if he doesn't, like I said, that's going to be quite disappointing. But other than that, I think a lot of the gripes out of the way, I am very excited for this episode. Like I said, this is definitely the episode where things are going to pick up. I know I've been saying that for the last 2 weeks, but all things have been pointing to this episode, including the ending of last week's episode where Fennec was like, we're going to war, and Boba was like, then we'll be ready. I do think that is going to set up these last 4 episodes quite nicely. I think this is going to be the episode where we begin to see some of these cameos possibly show up. Hopefully like somebody like Bosk, Dengar, some of these other bounty hunters, because they are looking for help. We see from the trailer that they are trying to recruit people from the groups of Tatooine, the Aqualeshes, the Klatooinians, and I can't remember the last one, the Trandoshans. So I do think that we're going to get help from those corners, and maybe the Trandoshans lead to Bosk, because Bosk and Boba have a history, as we've seen from Clone Wars. So I think that'd be really interesting to tie that in. I think that this is going to be the episode where we begin to see a lot of the characters that we like get developed storylines aside from Boba, like Fennec. I do think that the flashbacks are going to key up with the present day. I think they're going to be on par. I think that we are going to see a little bit of the Mando stuff in there, which is going to be really cool, like him saving Fennec, maybe him possibly watching the fight between Cobb Vanth and Mando versus the Krayt Dragon happen in Mos Espa, I think, or not Mos Espa, Mos Pelgo. I think that would be really cool to see that from a distance and see Boba's perspective on all the things, because last he saw, his armor was just scooting on by on the back of Mando's speeder bike. So I'd like to understand why he didn't go after his armor when Cobb Vanth had it all that time, because judging by things, Cobb Vanth had it for a few years, because this is 5 years after Return of the Jedi, and he got it just in the week following Return of the Jedi. So I think it's going to be interesting to see all of these storylines key up and make sense of itself. So for all of those reasons, I'm very, very excited for this episode. But before we get started, I just want to say, if you guys are new to the channel, please consider hitting that subscribe button, like button, turning on post notifications. Whatever you guys want to do to support the channel, I would greatly appreciate it. Memberships will be up very, very soon, so you guys will get full-length reactions to all of the TV shows and movies that I will be doing in the future, and all of the ones that I have up on the channel right now from December of 2021 on to now. I will try my best to get the Hawkeye ones up there. I have been editing the Matrix Resurrections movie reaction for the last 4 or so weeks, ever since that movie came out. Have not been able to get it by YouTube for whatever reason. I've probably edited that video 5 or so times. I'm trying for the last time. If I can't get it up past the copyright system that YouTube has going on right now, I'm just gonna call it a day and scrap the video, and then maybe do a review of the movie if you guys are interested. I know a lot of people didn't end up liking the movie. You guys will have to see my reaction to see what I thought of the movie. I didn't hate it, I will tell you that. But if you guys are interested in all of that, definitely consider being a member whenever I do have those memberships up. But without further ado, I'm super excited for this episode, so let's go. Another 50-minute episode, dude. I don't understand the difference between all of the lengths of the episodes. I don't understand why they can't just add and take off the episodes just to make them a little bit more even, because you can really feel the difference week to week whenever it comes to the runtime. Some just feels too short, and then these ones are just perfect. Maybe they will bring him back, considering they're showing him in the previously on. I do think this is going to be the last episode we see flashbacks. Like I said in the intro, I think it's going to become linear with what we've seen so far in The Mandalorian. He's going to come across Fennec, maybe? We quit?
Not today, oh girl. Still too many guards.
Okay, so he's been picking out a day to take over, I guess? Oh, shit. Those were the things that Mando was using. Little hint to Mando's theme there, too. We gonna see the direct shot? Yeah. I love how far in advance that they plan stuff to just make it line up like that. I think that's awesome. Okay, I do like that connection on the aspect of these guys use cybernetics to enhance their bodies, and he's going to them to help fix her and save her life. I think that's cool. Maybe that's why he felt a connection with them and took them in.
Aren't you gonna close her up?
Cover all that beautiful machinery?
Interesting. Oh, he took her back to the spot.
You are Master Assassin Fennec Shand.
This is the one flashback I was looking forward to the most. Aside from like the Kaminoan stuff from Attack of the Clones, I thought that was really, really cool. But I was looking forward to seeing their, meeting for the first time.
I want you to help me. Help me recover my fire spray gunship.
I really don't like that, how they changed the name. I don't get it. I was really hoping they just wouldn't say the name in the show.
Let's take a closer look.
No, it's like a mini probe droid.
I was ready to leave hunting behind.
People like us don't get to decide when we're finished.
I like that perspective from the bounty hunters themselves. Now that's the same droid from Return of the Jedi.
I don't think it was a rat. All security.
Grievous. I was hoping he'd start doing that. Slave One, baby. I refuse to call it the other name. Not just because it's stupid. It's just because, I grew up calling it the Slave One. So It's not going to change. I was going to say, are these the same Gamorreans? But he just slit that one's throat, so I don't think so. No, not the Gonk droid. There's a bunch of aliens are dying. Dude, I'm telling you, some of the shots in the show like that's just an incredible shot. Oh, goodbye. Oh my god. Wow. Is he looking for his armor now? That's where we could possibly see Mando. Oh, it's gone.
That's where I was trapped all those years ago.
Is it gone? The crate dragon ate it. Right? It just doesn't look like there's anything in there. Wait, but he knows that that he got out with his armor, right? Does he not like have any recollection of how he got out? I knew it was coming and it still got me. No way.
Fire in the hole.
Wow. I was hoping we see a little bit of Mando, but you know, we at least know where and when it happens at this point. A little bit more concrete. And that concludes the flashbacks, I guess. At least of that time period. I don't know. Daniel Logan said something on his Instagram about you never know who's going to show up, like as if he was going to show up in some form of a flashback as a younger Boba. Which would be awesome, by the way. I've been shipping that since they announced that show, but I just don't see it happening. Okay, I'm glad they brought him back. I don't know what form they're going to take yet, but... Oh yeah, because he hates Trandoshans. He's like, well, shit.
So let's say you release this customer and let these fine folks get back to their fun, and in return, I will wipe your debt off the books.
Hit it, Max.
Oh, so it is Max Rebo. Sweet. I mean, we just had our doubts. I mean, it could have just been any other person of the species.
Looks like you could use a job.
Okay, good. I was hoping they'd team up.
What prevents us all from killing you and taking what we want?
Oh, I thought it was Chrysanthemum.
Easy, boy. Easy.
Drop him in at any moment.
All I ask in return is that you remain neutral if the Pike Syndicate approaches you to betray me. This will be acceptable.
Master Gartholic finds this acceptable as well. I abide.
How much treasure do we have in reserve?
I have plenty of credits. What I'm short on is muscle.
Credits can buy muscle. If you know where to look.
Oh! Dude, they're getting Mando. Oh, let's go. Oh, I'm so hyped now. Because that was obviously a nod to them getting Mando, right? Playing his music. It has to be. There is no possibility that I see in the next few episodes where he just does not show up. I mean, I'm expecting some of these other bounty hunters to show up because they've been long rumored for the show, just as well as Mando has, as Din Djarin has, and as Grogu has, and as Luke Skywalker has, and as Han Solo has. And I get that's a lot for these last 3 episodes, but I think that they are realizing that they are trying to, regain confidence in the show, and they are trying to show us that this big stuff is coming, and it may take some time to set it up, which I appreciate. I appreciate the setup, and I think this was definitely the kickoff episode, especially with that ending, and especially the nods towards Din Djarin throughout the entire episode with seeing the flashing lights in the sky, filling in the gaps of what was happening between the Mandalorian and this, and obviously they were aware while making this that this is filling in the gaps and that fans are going to pick up on that. And I really, really enjoyed that aspect of the episode. Really, this episode I had no complaints with this episode. This episode was probably the best one so far. Action packed. I loved what they did with him, infiltrating Jabba's palace, and him taking care of the Nikto gang on the speeder bikes. I thought that little portion, that little scene was absolutely amazing, of him just gunning them down on the speeder bikes with him and Slave One in the sky, or I'm sorry, the fire spray in the sky, which I don't like that name change at all, especially after all these years. I mean, I'm never going to refer it as the fire spray, and I really don't think a lot of people are. It is Slave One. It has always been Slave One. You can't change something that George Lucas has set in stone already. I don't like the idea of that, and that is actually breaking their agreement with George Lucas, and that is, you can't change anything that I foreset in my original 6 movies. And them changing the name to the fire spray, although them never saying strictly the name Slave One in the original trilogy, at least not that I'm aware of, or even in the prequels when Django had it, I do still think that is breaking that code of not touching or changing anything that George Lucas had already set in stone. So for that reason, I'm not really appreciative of that, but I don't think they're going to dive too much in that. And obviously that's not hurting the plot of this show. That's just a little gripe that I have. That's the only problem I have with this episode, the whole episode. Like I said, the action was just outstanding. It really blew me away with us going from episodes 1, 2, and 3 and then into this. I mean, the action's been very minimal. Of course, we had the train scene in chapter 2. We had the little chase scene, which I thought was kind of slow but fun at the same time from chapter 3. I thought it was fun enough, but it did feel really, really slow, and I know a lot of people will agree with me whenever I say that. But just the setup and the ultimate payoff that this is heading towards is going to be fantastic. I mean, him somewhat joining forces with all of the tribes, or the groups of Mos Eisley, Mos Espa, Tatooine, their 4 corners, including Boba Fett. I think him remaining neutral with them is a smart idea, just so we can bring in these heavy hitters such as Mando. And of course, he said that we're going to need muscle. And Din Djarin, of course, is a strong bounty hunter. We've seen that from the Mandalorian, but they're definitely going to need some help. And the biggest contenders that could possibly show up, especially from rumors and stuff that we have heard, the biggest rumored characters are Bossk, Cad Bane, Din Djarin, Luke Skywalker, and Han Solo. Of course, we've heard of Dengar and some of these other bounty hunters showing up from Clone Wars, which I think would be absolutely awesome. Zuckuss, IG-88 even. I think that would be really, really cool to see IG-88 and Din Djarin possibly interact and him form a bond with him just because of IG-11 from the first season of The Mandalorian. I think that would be really, really cool. But I'm expecting these last 3 episodes to hit hard, and the way that they are setting it up, I thoroughly believe that it is going to impress us fans. But what did you guys think? Let me know what you guys thought down in the comments below. And as always, I please ask you, if you guys are new to the channel, please consider hitting that subscribe button, like button, turning on post notifications. Whatever you guys want to do to support the channel, I would greatly appreciate it. Memberships will be up very, very soon, so you will get full-length reactions to this, as well as Cobra Kai, Peacemaker, and possibly Hawkeye if I can get those reactions up for you guys. You guys will also get full-length movie reactions. Like I said in the intro, I've been trying to get Matrix Resurrections out forever now, but I am trying to work around it, and you guys will get more full-length movie reactions in the future. I'm hopping back into Harry Potter, as you guys might have seen from the scheduling thing. I don't know if I've posted it yet at the time of this dropping, but I will be diving right back into Harry Potter with Harry Potter and the Half-Blood Prince. That should be premiering sometime next Friday, so that will be towards the end of January, right after episode 5 drops, and then episode 5 of Peacemaker will also be coming out that week. So I am very, very excited to hop into all of these reactions for you guys at the channel, but memberships is just an option, so you guys will be able to see the full-length stuff. You guys will also get early access to a lot of those movie reactions and TV shows that aren't coming out live. That is how I do things. The TV shows that are coming out live, such as this, they go up as soon as possible, and then once those go up, you guys will get the full-length reactions as well for this, and all of the other shows that I will have had up previously. So that is an option for you guys that just want to see that stuff. And if you guys don't, that's okay. I'm just putting that out there for people that do. But I hope you guys did enjoy the reaction. So without further ado, I hope you guys did enjoy, and I will see you all in the next one.